everybody, this is Micaityl, may call me, and welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry, Watanagashi, the final stretch. Yes, I am almost there. I am almost to the final part of the series. After 3 years of trying to play this game 3 times, this might be the time where I actually complete the game. So let's begin! Keiichi! Keiichi! Just leave him alone. His friends went missing. It must be really hard for him. Normally, my dad never shows me any consideration, but this time he did. Shouldn't Keiichi stay home from school for a while, too? I think it would be safer not to go until the police do something about this. Maybe. Compared to what could have happened, taking a few days off wouldn't be a bad idea. Anyway, how is it logical not to close school during such a dangerous situation? What do those teachers think our children are? Mom and Dad were getting pretty wild up, but at this point, I couldn't care less. Besides, that wasn't the only thing I couldn't care less about. The breakfast table, the fruit in front of me, the time and date, myself, I really had no interest in anything. This feeling, it was like a dead fog in my mind. It felt like getting dizzy after taking strong medication. Keiichi, how are your studies going? You've gotten further than other kids, haven't you? If you have, then you can take a few days off, alright? I didn't even feel like answering. Wow, Keiichi's pretty messed up right now. Well, he's pretty messed up from the beginning, because he kind of snuck into the Rochelle storehouse, people died because of it, the people he was friends with, and now his other friends are disappearing and he only has one left. Rena. So, yeah, he's pretty messed up right now. Today was Thursday. Only 4 days has passed since the Watanagashi festival. Such a short time, and yet now things were completely different. Everything had changed. The tranquil village, bright and clear as if it were Indian summer, had undergone a total reversal. People were made to disappear every night, and we couldn't even relax when walking out in broad daylight. The village had become a world of fear. I had no right to curse this outcome. After all, the one responsible for everything was me. That night, I couldn't resist my honestly tiny little incredibly stupid curiosity and broke the taboo. This isn't somewhere we should be going, is it? Let's not. It's a crime to force your way into a locked building, even if you don't steal anything. Shion, now that you know you're not No! No! Come on! No! The game knew. The game knew that was my weakness. Shion, now that you know they weren't having some secret rendezvous, you have had enough, right? Rendezvous! It is rendezvous. Nah, I think it's rendezvous. I don't want to do something like this. What if Rika-chan's dance ends while we're messing around here? I prattled on as I took the log from Tomitake-san's hands and put it back on the door. I'll forget everything I saw here, so come on. Let's go, let's go. Takano-san was fretting, but I pushed her away. Tomitake-san grinned painfully. Shion's shoulders dropped as if to call me an idiot. Even so, I didn't care. Is he imagining what would have happened if he stopped them? I pushed everyone further and farther and farther away. Rika-chan's dance was still going on. Then at last, her dance was brought to a close with roaring applause. I, too, until my hands turned red, I clapped, and I clapped. But that didn't happen. Oh, I dropped something. Ding dong. Isn't that Rena-chan? She's here because it's your usual meetup time, isn't she? I looked up at the clock. It was 5 minutes past my time to meet up with Rena. Keiichi, shouldn't you take a few days off from school? You're right. Thanks for being so considerate. I rose from my seat. I went to the entrance to greet Rena. Good morning. We're going to school as a group starting today. So you can't be late. That's right. If we, the ones farthest away, were to be late, the youngsters on the way would be waiting for us. I think I'm going to take some time off from school. Okay. Rena answered shortly, nodding. I think you should do whatever best for you, Keiichi-kun. so you don't need to feel like you're weak or anything. Oh, here. It's a notice that they're sending around. Could you give it to your mom? I think it has a lot of important announcements in it. I took notice. There were a lot more pages than normal. The one on top announced the disappearance of the mayor, Rika-chan and Satoko, and that they wanted any information about them. It made my heart ache. The police are looking the best they can do. They'll find them for sure. Just be patient, okay? Rena said, smiling in an attempt to give me courage. Rather than that, though, her smile looked like it was because she herself wanted to believe they were safe. Rena, you're not going to question me? Nope. Rena, you know, don't you? About that night. What I... Do you mean when you snuck into the ritual storehouse? I was speechless for a moment, but then I bit my lip, made up my mind, and nodded a little. So it's all in the open. Really, I shouldn't do bad things like that. Mi-chan was really mad. So she was upset. I suppose she would have been. I don't think she was angry about you sneaking in there, though. As much as you were hiding it from her. Maybe, Kei-chan, maybe you should have told her yourself and apologized. I should have told her myself. And apologized. That troubled me. Just 1 week ago, I did something that I, myself, should have apologized to Mion for. I've hurt her badly. However, I hadn't realized that at all. Plus, with all the confusion that Shion's appearance had brought, I still haven't been able to talk to Mion about it. Rena, you're right. I never realized anything until you tell me. Keiichi-kun, hypothetically, if you had admitted that you'd done something wrong right away and apologized to Mi-chan, I wonder if Rika-chan and Satoko-chan would have had to disappear. Oh! Oh, come on, Rena. You had to pull that one. I couldn't answer right away. I couldn't admit to that. Wasn't Rena telling me right now, though, that I should have admitted my crime sooner? If I had done that and apologized, would things not have gone in such a horrible direction? Rena's eyes were filled with kindness, but they weren't naive enough to forgive me for keeping silent, and they stared fixedly into my own. Yeah, you're right. If I had admitted to my crime sooner, then Rika-chan and Satoko wouldn't have had to die or disappear. The palm of Rena's hand. Oh, she just slapped. Wow! The palm of Rena's hand slapped me in the cheek. I stood there unmoving, my head still tilted in the direction I had been hit. It didn't hurt at all. I don't think anyone has scolded you, Keiichi-kun. So I'll scold you in their place, okay? I pressed a hand to my cheek, now warm with embarrassment, and quietly stared down at Rena's feet. Going somewhere you're not allowed to was... Oh. Going somewhere you're not allowed to go was a very bad thing to do. Do you understand that? Uh-huh. It has to be with a yes, Keiichi-kun. Yes. You kind of ruined it with Keiichi-kun. Also, what's even worse, you didn't admit to having something done so bad. English! Also, what's even worse, you didn't admit to having done something so bad. You should never do anything bad in the first place, but not admitting to it or apologizing for it is much, much worse. Yes, I was wrong. For a few moments, Rena stared at me silently and intently as if gauging my remorse. Then, finally the tension in her face softened, and she smiled. Okay then, it's about time. I should be going. Alright. Be sure to give the notice to your mom, okay? Also, warn her not to go out to pass it on after it gets dark. Wait, pass it on? I bent down to pick up the notice, which I dropped when she slapped me. The pages come out of the collapse and were now making a mess on the floor. I got them one by one. My hand stopped at the single, more light-hearted page with the peaceful sentences dancing on it. Light-hearted page? We still have plenty of homemade soy sauce in stock. Feel free to come to the Sonozaki house if you want some. What is this? I picked up the page and scanned the rest of it. They were stockpiling high-quality soy sauce they got from faraway relatives in the Akita prefecture. They had gotten a big shipment recently. They couldn't use it all, so they wanted anyone who wanted something to feel free to come over. Is what it said. As a PS, it said it arrived in barrels, and to please bring a 2-liter bottle or other container for it. That's how it tied together. If you need some soy sauce, then you should go to the Sonozaki house. Rena. Did you? Did you know all along? Yeah, I knew. Rena had already been suspicious of Mion as soon as she noticed that big bottle of soy sauce was missing. Rika-chan had taken the bottle and gone to Mia's house, and there, she was erased. Rika-chan wasn't coming back, so Sadako called Mion's house, and she knew where she had gone, and then Satsuko got called there as well. That meeting on the day the mayor disappeared, didn't Uishi-san say that the 3 families participated in it? The 3 families would include the Sonozaki family. Did he also say that the current leader was really old, so her hair, Mion, frequently stood in for her at public appearances? While the mayor was returning from the shrine, Mion called out and stopped him. She talked to him and invited him to their house, and then she made him disappear. It was probably even simpler to make Shion disappear. Shion was part of the Sonozaki family. They probably knew They probably knew exactly what she was doing at all times. I'm sure they even knew her part-time job schedule too. Thinking back, wasn't that Angel Mord store managed by the Sonozaki family? Setting up an ambush for her there wouldn't have been any trouble at all. I'm going to Mion. I'll go apologize. I'm going to have her put an end to everything. Mion probably won't forgive me easily, but I'll go and ask her not to sacrifice anyone else. With that decided, there was no need for me to be lazing around here. I put on my shoes and slipped past Rena to exit the house. When she stopped me, I'm going too. Rena, shouldn't you go to school? This is way more important than school. Rena, you shouldn't come. If you get wrapped up in this too, then I think I might actually go crazy. Rena didn't move her arm, which was blocking my way. If Keiichi-kun disappeared as well, then I think I might actually go crazy too. So I won't let you go alone. Rena argued boldly as tears welled up in her eyes. Yes, she's totally about to well up in tears. This is the face of upset Rena. I saw them, and I knew the strength of her resolve. Alright, let's go. Thank you, Rena. Rena nodded slightly, but firmly, and finally let down the arm blocking me. Let's go. To Mion's house. I'll apologize for the crimes I've committed, and then we will put an end to these twisted days. After that, I'll pray that once more we return to those fun, lively days. With Rena following me, I left the house. In front of the house, there was a car waiting. It was Uishi-san. Hey, good morning, my bar-san. To you too, Rigu-san. Together, so early in the morning. You make me jealous. What a truly praiseworthy man he was, if he'd just been lying in to wait so early in the morning just to pressure me into talking. On this morning, though, maybe this was actually a good opportunity. You're from the police. Oh, have I not introduced myself to you, Ryugu-san? Please, excuse my rudeness. My name is Oishi, from the Okonomiya Police Department. Pleased to meet you. Are we telling Oishi-san? Yeah. I think my palm is enough punishment for your crime, Keiichi-kun, but... Oh. But we should leave Mi-chan to the... Oh, okay, this is Rena, okay. Are we... telling Oishi-san? Yeah. I think my palm is enough punishment for your crime, Keiichi-kun, but... we should leave Mi-chan to these people. pain and sadness. I looked down as those emotions built up in my heart. We have something to tell you, Uishi-san. Well, now, what about? Should we stand here and talk? Or go inside the car? In the car, please. Ollie continued to look down weakly. All I could do was to be thankful for how dependable Rena was. Damn! Oishi came at the most convenient time! At Rena's urging, I revealed everything to Uishi-san. The latter, while making sure how to throw in murmurs that he was paying attention every now and then, took notes. We continued that way for a while. How do you feel? Don't you feel a lot better now that you told me? Uishi-san asked this while scratching his head with his ballpoint pen. Of course, I don't feel better. The price I had been paid up until now for me not owning up to my own crimes had been so immense. But as long as that payment wasn't returned, the load on my chest could never be removed. His radio started amid static. This is Kumatani. Uishi-san, over. Yes, hello. This is Uishi. We got news a few minutes ago that she's been absent from school. No movement at the Sonozaki house. Our target is still on the premises. Yes, good. Keep a close eye out. Roger that. Cars 3 and 7 just arrived for support, and we return to the base. Also, I think the division chief is looking for you, Uishi-san. He keeps annoying me, even though I keep telling him that I'm trying to get in touch with you. What should I do? If you're hard-pressed for an answer, tell him you're actually under orders not to wake me from my morning nap. Got it. Shh! The radio went silent. Sorry about that. It was about work. He just said there was no movement at the Sonozaki house, didn't he? Oh my. Didn't that sound like that to you? This won't do. Please, keep that a secret, alright? I don't have any permission from the division chief to be making private inquiries like this. Oishi-san has suspected Mion for a long time. Okay, can I just say this now? I actually kind of defend Oishi in this arc because so many people don't. A lot of people hate what he does in this arc since he kind of pressured Keiichi, into telling him the truth. But he's kind of just trying to figure out the mystery behind the mafia-like family of the Sonozaki since, well, he's been doing this for years and he's about to find his biggest catch, taking down the Yakuza-like mafia family of the Sonozakis, and Keiichi is the one person that knows the most that he can get to and use so that they can finally take them down. Now, using a child to be bait is kind of wrong in a way, but he's kind of doing the right thing in a way also by, taking down a family that kind of made people disappear. Like Rena, Rena's not disappear, I meant Rika, not Rena. But Rika, Sadako the mayor, they kind of, well, to be assumed they did. I'm not going to say if they actually truly made them disappear because I know what happens. I've watched the anime. But in this, it actually gives more reasons to why Uishi-san does what he does since, well, the anime never really revealed what he was doing and people thought he was just being an asshole when he's actually just trying to take down the mafia family that he's been hunting for 20 years. So, I gotta defend him. Nor you're questioning witnesses, or for searching houses. We don't have permission for anything, really. The Sonozaki house defenses said the protected family members are also in full working condition. Without a warrant, we can't do anything about anything unless the crime happens right in front of us. Oishi-san, could you be... Rena's tone of voice was enough to make her spike clear as she stared at Oishi-san. You can't set foot in the Sonozaki house. Were you trying to get Keiichi-kun to go in there instead? Oh, Rena. What do you mean? This person, just as I thought, he plays really dirty. Stop, you're hurting my reputation. That said, I'm all ears to your explanation, okay? Oishi-san lit a cigarette and responded to Reno, wearing an expression implying that he was calm and willing to let her commit slide. Compliment slide. Compliment slide or commit... I didn't read! Ah! I'm supposed to be reading, but I didn't read. You can't get a warrant, but you always had your eyes on Mi-chan because you thought she was suspicious. Yeah? You plotted to incite Keiichi-kun and have him go into the Sonozaki house. Then, if something were to happen to him, you will use that as an excuse to go in. Isn't that right? I only understood about half of what Rena was saying. I knew, however, that Uishi-san had been trying to use me. Even if Keiju got hurt as a result, have you had no shame? Is this how the police do things? My. It seems like we have an incredible detective on our hands. Oh my. Would you be interested in taking our exam? I'll gladly write a recommendation letter to get you into the detective division. You're despicable. Yuna spoke out quietly, her words driven with hostility. I've been insulted in all kinds of ways in my life, but one or two words from a young girl is always the roughest for me. Even so, I suppose I should thank you for not arresting Mii-chan yet. Don't mention it. Thank you for not arresting my friend. Don't mention it. Oh my god, I can't think of any better response. Why is that funny? Okay. Oishi-san seems to be really enjoying his exchange with Rena. I am too. The things this man thought were like a swamp, and I could barely see past the surface. It reminded me again of how much I disliked him. Now then, as the two esteemed friends of Mion Sonozaki-san, what do you plan on doing now? Will you wait kindly for me to go over the evidence and request a warrant? No, we won't wait for that. We will go and make Mii-chan surrender herself. That's right. If she turned herself in rather than be arrested, she might get a lighter sentence. At this point, perhaps that was the only pity I could find it in me to afford her. I see. I wonder if that will go well. If you're careless, you too may face danger, you know. Oishi-san was measuring our resolve. So, in a strong voice, I declared, "We're fully prepared." Oishi-san gave us an unpleasant yet seemingly satisfied grin. It was then that I realized this man was trying to use it for his own convenience. Oh man, those. If anything should happen to us, use that as an excuse. Though my greatest hope that you will surround the place so that the criminal can't get away. Ryu-san, you're good at negotiating too. I'm throwing in the towel. I surrender. What are you talking about? If the policemen surround Mii-chan's house, then that will be insurance for the worst case scenario. For the worst case. Plus, it will be another way of pressuring Mion to give herself up, wouldn't it? Oishi Takuma-san. This is Guma Tommy. Go ahead. Our two friends are going to play at the Sonozaki house. Make an arrangement so that we can reinforce them if needed. Roger. Their altogether too short conversation implied that our questioning was already a part of their plans. Then, let's get going. Want to buy some tea biscuits on the way there? Neither Rin or I went along with Uishi-san's stupid joke. Oh yeah! Oishi stopped the car at the place where Oishi stopped the car at the place where we always waited for Mion. Come to think of it, I've never been to Mion's house before. I've only heard that it's right down this road. This is as far as I can take you. According to our information, there are quite a few security cameras set up on the premises. Still, don't worry. I've got a bunch of youngsters ready to... Don't worry. I've got a bunch of youngsters ready and waiting to slip past them and go in. We'll be monitoring the inside with a one-way mic, so if you two give a loud scream, we'll know right away. We'll persuade her for sure, so please be ready for her to turn herself in. In both of our eyes was determination. It was the only method available for us subliming the sins of our good friend. Be plenty careful, you hear. You probably don't believe it right now, but I don't want you two being sacrificed if at all possible. You're right about that. With that rude response, we left the car. Damn, they're so sassy to the cops! though the cops are sassy to them, so. The clinging humidity and voices of the cicadas greeted us. By the way, cicadas. You know what cicadas are? You know what the word cicada is in Japanese? Higurashi! Higurashi when they cry, cicadas when they cry. Man, I've been waiting to use that for a long time. I've never expected this would be happening today. Let's go, Keiichi-kun. Rena took the lead and began to walk. Down the road I'd never been. Rena, you've been to Mion's house before, right? Yeah, a few times. It's a really big house. You could fit a mountain into their backyard, too. You could pick mushrooms and stuff, though there are fences everywhere. Big enough to fit a mountain. That was amazing. One of the 3 families controlling Himiyazawa, and the head family of the Sonozaki clan. Perhaps there was something to be said about its magnitude. The path continued onward, leveled and uneventful. There were metal fences along its edges, and beyond them were woods with trees growing thickly. The fences were high, the tops of them bent inward, sticking out like sharp spears. Plus, there was a dangerous-looking barbed wire wrapping them. No one could look at them and not feel intimidated. In addition, there were signboards hung up here and there along the fence. Private property of the Sonozaki family. Entrance forbidden. Beware of venomous snakes. Active security cameras. Intruders will be charged an entry fee of 1 million yen. This forest, or should I say mountain, is this all their yard? It's more like their domain. As you can see, it's private property, so nobody maintains it. The forest isn't really the kind you can go hiking in. You can say that again. It really did feel like a neglected savage woodland. It was dark and damp. It's certainly not a forest that made you want to go for a nice walk. Maybe that just happens when a landowner has too much land. Like Uishi-san had said, there were security cameras hung up all around the place. Though they'd never been weathered by wind and rain, casting a doubt as to whether they were even functional. I wonder if Mion is watching us as we come to her. I don't think she is. The only people living in Mii-chan's house are generally her and her grandma after all. There's nobody to watch the cameras. What a useless security system. Well, Mii-chan's father seems like a pretty tough person to get along with. So whenever everyone in the family is getting together, the cameras are apparently working properly. That's right. Mion's father. He was a big shot Yakuza, wasn't he? Rena smoothly danced around the answer she explained. At last, a huge gate, as big as I imagined, appeared. Was she living by herself with her grandmother, in a house with such a grand gateway? I wonder if she's here. Meep. The old buzzer made a dull sound. Was it cut off in the middle and not getting to the house? We waited long enough without a response for me to start thinking like that. However, we finally heard footsteps walking through the gravel on the other side of the gate. I nervously balled my hands, my palms now sweating into fists. There was the change of a bolt being released, and the gate opened slightly. The person peeking out of the gap was none other than Mion. Well, this is unusual. Aren't you two going to school? Mion didn't seem all that surprised at visitors arriving in the morning, but it wasn't a normal time. In fact, she almost seemed relaxed, as if she knew we were coming beforehand. We stayed home today. Kei-chan is one thing, but you two, Rena? You two are such troublemakers. Mion smiled lightly, in a way that the Mion we knew always did. Well, let's not just stand here. Come on in. She gestured for us to follow her. I hesitated for a moment, looking at Rena. Let's go. Rena smiled cheerfully, as if she was passing through the gate of a good friend's house, and then just did that. Well, it is a good friend's house, though she's probably, a Yakuza member that killed 2 of their friends. Maybe. We don't know yet, but maybe. I rally myself and then go through the gate too. On the other side, it hadn't been maintained very well, but it was clear that the lot was magnificently wide. It wasn't quite what you think when you hear a mansion, but it was clearly a vast place. Was this the first time you've been here, Kei-chan? Yeah. This house is enormous. Steep thatch roofs aren't in fashion anymore. This place could be a tourist attraction. I want to rebuild it using totally average and boring reinforced concrete soon. Neon dryly smiled as she said that, and then closed the gate and relocked the heavy bolt. Don't worry about it. Things have been dangerous lately. Gotta do at least this much during the daytime. Yeah, you're right. Maybe it was just my imagination, but I thought I saw a hint of shadow in her smile. Well then, good sir, madame, I shall show you inside. Please come this way. Mion bowed to us like a worker at a high-class hotel, then pivoted her heel and began to walk. Why did I say motel? Rena gripped my stiffening arm lightly. Keiichi-kun, you're too tense. You came to see me-chan, remember? You don't need to be that nervous. That's right. When I get nervous, I tend to let everything show my face. I'll stop tensing up. Even if something were to happen, there were two of us. Oishi's and subordinates were waiting outside the gate for us too. There was nothing to worry about. After thinking about that much, I realized my nervousness was already gone and laughed at myself. Something's going to go wrong, we all know that. Whoa, what's this? Mion? Oh, that was Rena. Whoa, what's this? Mion, what's up with the stone on top of the newspapers? It's in the way. There was a pile of newspapers on the floor at the entrance, and there was a large rock on top of them. Where the hell's the rock? Where is the rock? I didn't understand why something like that was here. Rena noticed me looking at her questionably and giggled. Rena, do what is this? Rena, do you know, what is this? Some kind of good luck charm? You really don't know? Then feel free to move it out of the way and put your shoes here. There. Keiichi-kun, there's a nest of there was a nest of swallows. Swallows? Swallows! There's a nest of swallows right above that stone. I need to read slower. Huh? Oh, you're right. This house is for people, but swallows still come without permission to make nests. It must be like a tradition for them. Whenever spring comes, they always make a nest here. It's kind of annoying, though. In other words, it's a sign not to take off your shoes here, because swallow poop could end up in them. I hope that's swallow. Swallow? Yeah, that's swallow, okay. Oh my god, I'm not having another pronunciation mistake. I couldn't help but laugh at the silly contrivance. My laughter naturally spread to the other two. I can't read right now. A really long time ago, the Sonozaki family apparently cultivated silkworms. Our ancestors would get all worked up over exterminating the swallows. When you think of it in that way, maybe this is just desserts. Anyway, come on in. The inside of the house wasn't very bright at all. It was dimly lit, in fact, but mysteriously, I could feel an elegance to the place. Neon seemed to want a more modern building, but traditional houses like this aren't bad either. You're kidding, right? There's a terrible draft and the winters are freezing? Don't go making my house into property of cultural significance and There's a terrible draft and the winters are freezing. Don't go making my house into the property of cultural significance and getting in the way of renovations, got it? What I want most is a house like yours, Kei-chan. I'm pretty jealous of it. It seemed like it would be warm in the winter. Oh, but snowfall makes it seems like it would be a problem. Snowfall's a problem. Does Himizawa get that much snow? A latitude south of Kanto, isn't it? Isn't this region warm? You don't know, Keiichi-kun. Himizawa is an area that gets heavy snowfall. When we get a lot, everyone gets buried. Sometimes you can't even get out of your house. Sometimes your car gets totally buried too, and you can't find where it is. I wasn't aware of that. Himizawa, was that bad of a place in the winter? Come to think of it, my dad. He said something like, this place got plenty of snow, so we can have fun building igloos. Still, your front door getting buried, not being able to find your car? That's way too much snow. I've never gotten that much snow where I live. Go Indiana, we don't get snow really. Remember from geography class, right? The western side of Japan gets cold winds from Asia. We're different from those softies projected in the mountains, nice and warm by the Pacific Ocean. I'm totally okay with being a softie and nice and warm. I hate the cold. We'll have to get a training camp to get Kei-chan used to the cold this winter then. No way, no way. There's no way that's happening. I hate the cold, and I hate training camps too, and I hate them even more put together. Mia laughed more uproariously than she ever had. Then she told us to bring out some tea and left her seat for the moment. Still, there was a lot of fun things to do in the winter. I bet our club would be a blast. Weren't we on a police investigation? Our club continuing activities through the winter sounds totally horrible. Like swimming in the cold or marching in the snow. When did we turn into Mouth Redhorn? Yeah, there's definitely a lot of tough punishment games for the winter season. One time she made us have a Rio Carnival in the schoolyard while snow was falling. I see the terror of our club care not for the season. The victor would be decided who could best adapt to the winter-only events. We do snowball fights and shaved ice eating contests and treasure hunts in the snow. Wait, why is everything outside? Why can't we play tabletop games in a nice warm room while it's snowing? Whoa, Keiichi-kun, if you're saying things like that, then you're gonna lose a lot this winter. We'll have a lot of punishment games and Rena won't lose. How? Don't give me that how. I settle things with a cross chop to the head. Just imagine Ouija-san listening from the microphone he attached to them, thinking, what the hell are they doing? Are you sure having fun? Our walls are pretty thick, so be careful not to go flying through any, okay? The paper sliding door opened, and Mion returned with the pot and a complete tea set. Do you want sesame seeds on your ice? Sorry, we don't have much in the way of bean paste or any other good stuff. That's okay, it's okay. We didn't really come here to drink tea anyway. And with those words, the smile disappeared from Rena's face. She did it. That one careless statement reminded us of what we had nearly been able to forget. I'd wanted to enjoy this peaceful time for a little longer, but we put an end to that with those honestly careless words. When she noticed the smile disappear from Rena's expression, Mion too changed hers. It was as if the cheerful air that was like a warm spring day until a moment ago had slipped through the cracks in the paper door, and altogether disappeared. There's no point in regretting it now. We did not come here today to chat and enjoy ourselves. We came here to fucking die. Ah! Mion silently poured the tea. During that time, both Ren and I sat kneeling without uttering a word. Here we are. Drink up. We couldn't even mutter a word of acknowledgement at those natural words of courtesy. There's no poison in it or anything. Do you distrust me that much? That's upsetting. Mion gave us a bitter smile at that and let her shoulders droop. We all remained silent. We remained silent, hoping that someone would speak up first. That was, however, The one thing we didn't want to do. And so, we sat for a long time. At last, Mian smiled scornfully and opened her mouth to speak. Hey now, Kei-chan Rena, you're the guest. Didn't you come here for something? If you don't speak up first, this old man won't know what to do. Rena and I exchanged glances, and we both resigned ourselves. Rena opened her mouth to speak first, so I stopped her. Keiichi-kun. It's okay. I needed to come here. Let me talk first. Okay, I understand. What would Kei-chan have to tell me? Please give me your daughter's hand in marriage, Mary. What? Please give me your daughter's hand in marriage? Oh my god. Can't do that. My little Rena and Kei-chan aren't meant for teaching. Go wash your face with some miso soup and try again later. Oh my god. Afterwards, I thought her mean remarks were Mion's own way of showing consideration. Mion said those mean things in a totally normal voice, and it drained tension from my shoulders. Mion, first, I have something to apologize for. You do? What for? Mion pretended that she didn't know what I was talking about, but I clearly got my point across. Well, on the night of Watanagashi, the ritual storehouse behind the shrine, I went in there. I could see Mion's expression immediately become harder. I knew it was somewhere I was supposed to go, but it was just supposed to be a little bit of exploration. We didn't mean anything by it. Even so, I shouldn't have done it. So I apologize. I'm sorry. To display my deepest sincerity, I pressed my forehead against the table. I pressed my forehead to the table. I meant it as a way of prostrating myself. I figured it wouldn't feel sincere enough if I raised my head right away, so I left it there on the table for a while. Mion didn't say anything. With my face down, I could tell what sort of expression Mion had. Only the voices of cicadas filled the room. Mixed with them, I could hear the sound of the clock ticking. That was all. When I started to struggle to breathe from having my head down for so long, Mion told me to stop. You got me there. I didn't expect you to pitch it to me straight. You got me on the ropes. I looked up to see that Mion's face was calm, but she was smiling faintly. If you understand that even it was only a casual exploration for you, Kei-chan, that there were a lot of people who think it's no... If you understand that even though it was only a casual exploration for you, Kei-chan, that there are a lot of people who think it was no laughing matter, then it's okay. There's an old saying, when in Rome, do as Romans do. It's been days since then. It may be too late, but I apologize. What I did was wrong. Please forgive me. I could feel pitiful tears welling up inside me. If I'd done this sooner, maybe nothing terrible would have happened. It's okay. If you know what you did was bad, then that's enough, right? Mion spoke like it was someone else's problem, and I wasn't happy about it. Mi-chan, Keiichi-kun is apologizing seriously. I think maybe you should respond seriously as well. I am being serious, though. Do I not look serious to you, Rena? No. You don't. Rena was giving her a tit for tat, and so the room's atmosphere quickly began to grow sharper. She was right, even though I came to speak from the heart like this. It felt like she hasn't been taken this seriously. Obviously, Rena isn't fond of that. Keiichi-kun, you get up now. Let's tell her everything. That looks like what Mi-chan wants too. If I had known, it would turn out like this from the beginning. Had I come here prepared for that? I mustered my willpower and bit my lip. Mion, you called Rika-chan and Satoko the day before last, right? I don't remember doing so. If you have a reason to think so, could you let me hear it? It was an even, before dinner time. Riki-chan should have come here, bringing a big bottle of soy sauce to have you share some with her. Mia was trying to keep showing any reaction, but I did miss her eyelid twitching just a little bit. Why do you think that? It's not hard to understand. Michan, you saw it too, didn't you? Ruki-chan's room. Mian put a finger to her forehead and acted like she was thinking. There was chilled tofu, but no soy sauce. Plus, there was a big bottle of soy sauce that should have been under the sink, nowhere to be found. There. That was Rina. That was Rina. Or Keiichi. I couldn't tell. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to reread that part because we're getting pretty far, and I just want to keep this moving. What? Is that why she would have come here? Here? Mion, drop the act. You wrote yourself on the notice, didn't you? That you shared your soy sauce? Mion scratched her head. I heard her ever so faintly click her tongue. It was as though we found out that she purposely given too little of a change to a servant. That's all I could feel from her. Then, Michan, Michan, you hit her. Mian hesitated. Rena hesitated for a moment. I could tell that she didn't want to use the word erase, and that she was struggling to find another word. That was really supposed to be the end, wasn't it? For you, anyway. What are you talking about? You didn't foresee that Riki-chan would tell Satoko-chan that she was going to her house, did you, Mi-chan? And Satoko-chan called. Might Rika be imposing on you? Yeah, probably just like that. You sound just like her. Mi-chan, you were in a bit of a bind then, because someone knew that Rika-chan had come here. So you decided to lure Sadako-chan here too. Lure her out? Like how, I wonder? Mian prodded Rena on, as if trying to get the good part of an interesting story. I, however, knew. I'd been watching Mian change the whole time. She was restlessly trolling her fingers, as clearly she had lost her calm. Of course, it was really a slight thing that only I, who'd been watching her this whole time, would have known. Mian was panicking. What Rena was saying must have been bullseye. It probably went like this. Satoko, I actually made too much for dinner today, so why not come over and eat? Richard came earlier and already ate some. Something like that. Scratch. Mian's nails dug into her knee. There's no recordings of the phone conversations or anything, so how do you know that much? I know because the dinner that Sadako-chan made for the two of them was plastic wrapped in the refrigerator and hadn't been touched. For a few moments, Mian's face was frozen in utter amazement. She looked like she couldn't believe that this person in front of her was Rena. With just that go on, how do you even guess what we said over the phone? It's a long explanation, so I'll get to the point. The contents of the refrigerator provided a vivid account of what you said over... The contents of that refrigerator provided a vivid account of what you said over the phone when you lured her out. Mian's jaw remained on the floor. That was the only way I could describe her face. That's... I had no idea I had such an incredible detective right next to me this whole time. I can't believe you'd figure out everything, down to the phone conversation from just what was inside the fridge. You got me there. You got me. You got me. As if a dam had burst, Mian convulsed into a laughter. Her laughter, though, definitely didn't make us want to laugh as well. Mian grew tired of her dumb laughter, heaved a big hot sigh, and scratched her head. It almost seemed like Mion had lost the detective punishment game for the club or something, and her punishment had been decided. Oh, how fun that would have been if it were true. An incredible detective. Mi-chan. You're the one who guessed what Iwishi-san told us. He called me an incredible detective too. As soon as she heard Iwishi-san's name, Mion's eyes began to display a panic more clearly so that anyone would be able to tell. Mion, the police have suspected you for a long time now. Iwishi-san's officers have had the house under observation so that they could break in at any time. Mion attempted to feign calm, but it looked like she was having a hard time with that. Part of her couldn't believe that the police had her surrounded, and she closely examined Rena's facial expression. However, she couldn't detect a hint of falsehood. Finally, Mion seemed to accept the fact that the police were encircling the house. Was the mayor Mi-chan too? Or Tomotage-san and Takano-san you as well? Mion didn't answer our rapid-fire questions. I could clearly see the impatience in her eyes, which were still feigning calm. At last, Mion, who had been sitting there lazily, readjusted her cushion and sat herself up upright. At that moment, the atmosphere in the room changed completely. Mion's expression also changed. The impatience and wonderment in her expression disappeared, and she became so solemn you'd think she was about to conduct a tea ceremony. I could sense it. It was now, in this moment. Mion had ceased to be Mion, but had changed into Mion Sonozaki, the current heir to the Sonozaki house. That solemn atmosphere about her was clearly abnormal, and that entirely different from that of the Mion I knew. Now, I could believe it. Now, I could believe that she was the young leader who commanded the entire Sonozaki clan. Mion quietly placed both of her hands on the tatami mat, and gave a beautifully elegant bow as if this were really a tea ceremony, and named herself. We meet for the first time. I am the current heir to the Sonozaki house. My name is Mion. Mion's movements were so elegant they could cut, and we couldn't even answer her. All Ren and I could do was watch, baffled at her actions, which we could never imagine the normal her doing. I would like to welcome you to the Sonozaki main house today. I'll greet you all in our place of our leader, or you. It seems as though you had various things you would like to ask. If I could be any assistance, then I would like to answer, without concealing anything. What? What did Mion just say? Mion said she would answer anything we asked? There was a strong light of resolve in her eyes. It's really alright if we ask anything, then? I shall tell you everything I know. That is why you come here, after all. Ren and I exchanged glances. There was a mountain of things we wanted to ask Mion. However, we hesitated for a moment on what we should ask first. The first question Rena gave was extremely abstract, but it was a question everyone wanted to know right now. Why? Why would you do this? That was what I wanted to ask as well. Why? Why would you do this? That didn't only go for Riga-chan and Satoko. It went for the mayor, Takano-san, and Tomotage-san as well. No, even further back for all the incidents that have been occurring every year. For just a little while, Mion could respond. Why would we realize that the question was too vague and try to put it into more concrete terms? She finally opened her mouth to speak. To answer that question will take some time. If that is acceptable, however, then I will by all means like you to hear it. She spoke clearly. She spoke with clarity that a grandmother might use when telling a story from a long time ago. Did you know that Himizawa village used to be called Okinafuchi village? Rena nodded lightly, then shot a glance asking me if I did. I returned her nod. Himizawa was once called Okinafuchi village, yes. I heard all about it that night from Takano-san in the ritual storehouse. They firmly believed that demon blood ran through their veins and cut off all contact with the outside world. They were worshipped by those in the village at the foot of the mountains and treated like transcendents, those capable of magic. That's right. Our ancestors in Okinafuchi village were proud of their transcendence descended from demons.
Those in the villages at foot of the mountains worshipped and honored them. Nevertheless, that all decayed with the end of the Tokugawa period. The black ships arrived. The era of the samurai ended. The era of national isolation ended. And the tradition of worship in Okinafuchi village quickly disappeared. Those things that linger from the past were all to be detested. That was the kind of era it became. The Meiji period began, and the name of the Okinafuchi village, with its long history, was forcibly changed to Himizawa village. I have heard that the Meiji government strongly wished to erase the old customs. The abolition of feudal domains, and the establishment of prefectures. The era had begun, seeing Japan sprinting up the stairs that were beyond their means to try and reach the same level as the rest of the world. All things in Western style were to be extolled, while old traditional things were to be scorned. That was the sort of era it was. Our ancestors in Okinafuchi village were proud of transcendents descended from the demons. Okinafuchi village disappeared in a flash. At last, Japan, provoked by the great European powers colonizing countries in Asia one by one, began a policy to decrease its wealth and military power so that it could stand its global power in its own right. Conscription began, and they won war after war, the first Sino-Japanese War and the Russo-Japanese War, and until the Pacific War broke out. They recklessly climbed the staircase towards modernization. At the time, Okinafuchi village had already lost its impenetrability. The villagers, once worshipped as their transcendents, were now on the receiving end of inhuman treatment. The sacred Okinafuchi village had been groundlessly labeled as an isolated village of those afflicted with incurable diseases, a mere shadow of its former self, and stood in the precipice of an era of hardship. Thus began the harsh days where one would suffer unreasonable discrimination just because people knew one was from Okinafuchi. The children in the village at the foot of the mountain were taught not to go near Himizawa because the filthy germs were rampant there. Children who would come into contact with children in Himizawa would cry and wail as their parents purified the spot they were touched by rubbing salt on it. One adult said to the children that if you get lost in Himizawa, you will be kidnapped by demons, cut up into pieces, and devoured. Never, ever go near the terrifying village of man-eating demons. That's what he taught them. Another said that during a famine long time ago, the people of Himizawa would gather up all the corpses they discarded into the dry river beds, then cook and ate them in order to survive. Groundless stories, but said in such seriousness. Baseless slander added to the baseless Santa, making Okinafuchi village historically accurate, thrilling history, but all the more believable. Perhaps the change of undue discrimination was the manifestation of the people's anxiety towards uncertain times. Of course, the story didn't only end with the perspective of the children. If anyone found out you were from Okinafuchi, you would be turned away from any job you applied for. People would even go back on engagements and marriage proposals. As for the marriages that were one part of the light about it, as soon as the truth got out, they were made to divorce. It even caused trials. It would appeal for one came wasn't important enough for a reason to divorce. They would, however, lose their case. Lying about one's birthplace apparently constitutes a heavy act of misrepresentation of marriage. That's terrible. I heard about such discrimination towards those in small villages in civics class. Just because others knew you were from a tiny hamlet, you would be subjected to every societal disadvantage there was, a modern form of bullying. Though I only memorized that because it was going to be on a test one time. I recalled being suspicious about that, and unable to believe such discrimination occurred in modern Japan. Well, I suppose I can't say that they weren't asking for it. Our ancestors were proud of the demon blood flowing through them. They lived their lives boasting about it and scorning those at the foot of the mountain after all. They struck fear into the villagers down there with their mystique and demanded gifts of the dread and tribute. With that, Mian smiled for the first time, albeit in self-mockery. During the Pacific War, despite the slogans that all the country was acting as one, those from Himizawa continued to suffer all manner of discrimination. There were too many ways to count. They would send their husbands and sons to war, and the women on the home front would suffer greatly too. My grandmother remembers it well. She remembers it being a difficult time. Even that bitterly long war, however, ended in 1945. Himizawa had lost many male hands, but alas, their fathers and husbands and sons returned to them. Of course, there were also many who didn't come back. Nevertheless, for those in Himizawa who were at their limits, barely able to maintain the village without the men, their return was a very happy thing. MacArthur's GHQ was set to work drastically on improving mindsets and strove for the abolition of unfair discrimination. They could feel day breaking on the dismal night, and that was in the previous era. Himizawa was on the verge of turning into a ghost town. Those in the village started to say that they should rebuild it once again and got to work, trying to make the village even a little bit more plentiful. During that time, somebody who appeared to build up a fortune through a vast number of dealings in the black market. That was Mion's grandfather, the husband of the elderly current family leader, Sohei Sonozaki. Sohei said that he managed food in the warehouses in Harbin after being dispatched to the Chinese mainland. When it was time to pull out, he conspired with his conspirators and comrades and stole great deals of the army's canned goods. He hid them somewhere in the Seto Inland Sea and sold them widely at a high price on the black market, thus earning a fortune. Sohei didn't spend that fortune for his own pleasure either. He entrusted the entire amount to his wife, the head of the Sonozaki house. Let's revive this ruined village. All who live here are a family, and this fortune is our collective property. So we proclaimed to my grandmother, at the current head of the family, that vast fortune was a huge reason why Himizawa was revitalized after the war. I see. With that, Himizawa came back to life, and that's how the Sonozaki family had established its current prosperity. Of course, there were many people who begrudged by the money coming from the black market, but the villagers no longer minded it. They succeeded at one business venture after another. Those who succeeded freely supported those who followed them. The giant family Himizawa, tied together with strong bonds, kept on expanding its influence. The Sonozaki family, the center of everything, would be extolled for a long time as minds behind Himizawa's revitalization. As the minds behind the Himizawa's revitalization. The person in the middle of all was your Nana, Mi-chan. That's amazing. What a great success. Mion looked like she was honestly happy that Rena had praised her. However, around 1955, the wind started blowing in the other direction again, because of the canned flesh incident. Canned flesh? It sounds so hideous that just hearing it made me nauseous. Someone naming himself as my grandfather, Sohei Sonozaki's superior, confessed that those canned goods had been human-fleshed. Himizawa, a village in which demons lived and ate humans. They were just about to wipe away that cursed stigma. The light had finally started to see in their peaceful lives grew hazy in the spirit. The shocking truth was revealed by the former superior. The stolen provision for the old Japanese army that had been a huge counterstorm for Himizawa's revival had been canned human flesh. Why were cans like that? Why were there cans like that? Wasn't Sohei just a manager of food warehouses? His superior revealed that Sohei Sonozaki did not have the job of managing the food. In reality, Sohei's job during the war had been to exterminate the pestilent mice and transport the corpses of those with infectious diseases. It had been unfair treatment, and all because of the lowliness of his origins. As a result, though, he had returned safely without having been sent to the front lines or being detained. Perhaps that was the only fortunate thing to happen to him. Finally, Sohei was enlisted as an assistant at a military medical institution. There, however, he found something even worse than the low, scorned, depressing customs of Okinafuchi village in the research they were carrying out. Could that have been, well, you know, a bacteriological corpse in the old Japanese army or whatever? Keiichi-kun, you heard of that? What could it be? I was pretty sure it was Unit 731. Oh my god! We're going pretty dark now. It was a nightmare unit that devoted itself to researching terrifying bacteriological weapons to break the deadlock in the war. They used many innocent people as fodder for horrible human experiments. Their methodology observed how many days a new strain would take to kill the humans. Damn, okay, Unit 731, I have read up on that, and that's some pretty messed up shit. Oh my god. How many days it would be when injected? How many days would it be when swallowed? They dissected many people to find that out. Sometimes they wouldn't even bother waiting till they were dead and dissected them while they were still alive. They would strap them to centrifuges while still alive and crush them in decompression chambers while still alive. When a live human decompresses, all the holes in their body gets pushed outwards and their intestines get pushed out of their anus like a snake winding out of it. I have a feeling I saw something like that in a documentary at one time. That makes me sick. They still hate Mizawa. You said it. Neon agreed with me, giving a sad smile. It wasn't much of a way of communication, but for some reason I was happy to have it right now. The unit Sohei was in did way kind of research than that. They were researching concrete methods for reducing the difficulty of delivering food on the battlefield. The military's design at the start of the war completely fell apart, and the chronic food shortage broke out all over the battlefront. The food shortage led to malnutrition, as their natural resistance is lowered, the soldiers fell into one disease after another. Spirit and morale lowered as well. They wouldn't be able to maintain their forces at this rate. Apparently that's where the research started. At first, it was 5 methods of delivering food to battlefields. It was very broad, including things from violent methods from stealing from citizens to viral methods like how to uncook unfamiliar insects and plant life. As they were working out the details, they kept straying off course and growing out of control, until they finally knocked down a door called Taboo. What do you think the easiest source of protein on the battlefield is? Ren and I knew the answer without being told, so we didn't answer. That's right. They were researching ways to handle using humans as food, fighting onwards, sometimes eating the flesh of enemies, and sometimes that of allies became the ultimate service paid to their country. They were deathly serious about this doctrine. It really is a riot. My grandfather was despised as much as someone who ate the human flesh, and yet they got above and beyond that. Apparently he always thought about it too. Even if he was a vulgar, man-eating demon, there were far more ugly demons than he. So no matter how much he was scorned, he wouldn't put up with it. At last, they had a handful of test prototypes. When the soldiers learned it was human flesh, however, the scientists couldn't make anyone to eat it. So it was apparently sent to the front lines. The cans were labeled meat substitutes, so that they wouldn't accidentally eat it themselves, and they stamped in the bottoms with a circle. The starved soldiers on the front lines apparently loved all the prototypes they were sent. Among them, those who cooked it in soy sauce, like it was sukiyaki, loved it the most. Come on, Miyan-chan, stop! I'm getting sick to my stomach. Rena really was pale-faced, and she looked like she was having difficulty continuing to sit on her knees. Miyan looked like she had more to say, but sighed lightly and stopped there. Then those canned goods your grandpa brought back. I don't know if it's true. Sohei denied it was human flesh until the day he died. However, those who begrudged Himizawa's sudden revival called him a savage for making a fortune for him selling human flesh, and the villagers began to be scorned again. They returned to a time where children would be jeered at and have rocks thrown at them. A stifling silence came back. Dropped my dinosaur. I need my dinosaur! What a seriously hopeless and sad story it was. They discriminated, were discriminated against, discriminated, and were discriminated against. Why must they attach such a worth and rank to it? Why can't they live without looking down on people? Why can't everyone enjoy life together? I didn't know. My grandmother, the family head, once told the children of the village this. If they throw the stone at one of you, then two of you must throw the stones back. Wow, thanks, Manga Gamer. You didn't need to put 2 U's. The children asked her, what if they threw stones at 2 of us? Of course, the answer was simple. If they throw stones at the 2 of you, throw them back with 4. If they chase 8 of you with sticks, drive them off with 16. If they slender 3rd of you, yell back with 60. Finally, the children asked, what if we were attacked by 1,000 people? Even that answer was simple. If 1,000 people attack you, then everyone in Himizawa will stand up against them. It was a manifesto to spur people to action. My grandmother rose up not only as the leader of the Sonozaki house, but as the mother of Himizawa. It was halfway through 1955, the time when riots over the treaty with the U.S. were rampant, a time of battle and action. The people of Himizawa joined together and fought, treating unfair discrimination towards one as a crime against them all. It didn't matter whether it was a child or an adult. If they heard that a child had been told off, then everyone would crowd the house of the perpetrator, acting as a whole. If they heard an adult had been treated unfairly, men and women, young and old, will all band together to stand up against it. If you meddle with the people from Himizawa, you will be in trouble. They probably figured that will make others think that, and they'll win. K-chan, do you remember how many people came to help you when you were involved with those delinquents in town? I recalled an impression it had left on me, that the people of Himizawa boldly came to my rescue, yet the people of Oknomiya averted their eyes so they wouldn't get involved. My grandmother fought, and my parents carried on the fight. At last, peace returned to Himizawa. Of course, that peace had been placed on a razor's edge. When you consider the previous 100 years of history, the tranquility now could only be called a chance interval, standing on uneven scales. Could I really have an opinion on such a long and difficult history that I hadn't been moved here for more than a year ago? Yet, I said it anyway. Why? Why can't everyone live in peace? What happened to those old series of Oishima-sama that I heard from Takano-san? Man and demon joined hands and lived together in harmony. Didn't Oshio-sama remain in this world to watch over that? It's a fairy tale. I mean, that even if those people and the demons were real, Oshio-sama who mediated between them wasn't. Is that why Oshio-sama's curse happens? A cold gust of wind blows in from the inside, fluttering Neon's long, beautifully cleared hair. Neon kept refreshing her smile without even answering and didn't even change her expression, but even that became a silent answer. So that Himizawa village wasn't... Wait. Wow, this has been going on for more than an hour. I am sorry, everyone. I have to end this episode right here. I apologize. I was getting too far into the reading. I was getting excited. We were learning more stuff about Himizawa, but we're going overboard with the time today. I wish I could finish it, but this is one of the few times where I actually have to stop the episode because I need to get to do something. I really apologize. I hope to see you all next time. Maybe next time I might make it an hour long like this one, since we're getting to the final stretch of the game, and we're learning a lot more about Himizawa, which is the most important parts of the story that the anime leaves out because of time. Because yeah, you gotta admit, the anime did not have this much interesting detail about Himizawa and its history. Oh my god, I am amazed by how historically it can get, Japan and Unit 731 with all the village stuff, how people discriminate against other villages back in Japan sometimes. Wow, just wow, this game. I am sorry that I have to end this episode right here, but I got to. So I apologize, everyone. I hope you like this episode. I hope you like this game as much as I can. Sorry for showing the Bandicam screen. It's not time yet. Oh my god. Leave a like. Leave a comment. And I will see you all next time. I'll see you all next time in the next Higurashi when they cry Watanagashi. Micaityl.